Good morning, welcome to today's RC Coffee Chat. Okay, for today's topics we have the mini Talon at 44 quid or less. I also have a concern as well, I'll bring that up in a moment. XM Receivers as well for FrSky, so those of you which are using the Tyrannus or maybe the module to go to back in another transmitter, if there is such a thing. Oh, I fixed the Wingnetic. No, I kid you not, I fixed it. It took a barbecue to fix it. We've got a C1 Chaser laminating update as well. Oh, the chuck glider conversion, which some of you may not know about, but you will know a little bit more about in about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. And today is a flying day. Yay. Right. Topic number 1 is the mini Talon. Now, every time I go flying with Dave, he always takes his Talon. And there's me with a big Phantom. A beautiful model, Phantom. But there's Dave absolutely caning that Talon. He's out there faster than me. He's flying it lower than me. He's going through trees, over hedges and stuff like that. And every single time I go flying, he's rubbing it in my face, in short. So I had to buy one. So I bought one. We saw it yesterday and it's still a work in progress. I will be putting a Eagletree Vector in mine. I've got the Sunny Sky 1250 kV motor on the back. And the other one is that Dave will quite happily just cruises out on 6 amps. And in the same wind conditions, I think I was doing something like 18. Something like that in my Phantom, because it's just like a thicker cord on the model. So the mini Talon, it's out for £44. Now I did want to stress is that you may or may not have seen the introduction episode to this YouTube channel, and any funds which come in from affiliates commissions end up getting put back into the channel so that we can get it into a self-sustaining environment. But yeah, mini Talon, 44 quid. That is a lot of model for your money. Now, like I said in that episode, it's not the prettiest model in the world, but one can just not argue with its flying characteristics, which are absolutely amazing. And I mean that, absolutely amazing. You can even look around on YouTube and there's some guys absolutely spanking them around, even as line of sight models. But for FPV, absolutely crazy. And the other one, I can't believe they've called it a mini Talon. It's absolutely massive. So goodness knows how, well, I do now know how big the other one is. It's got, I think it's a 1.8 meter wingspan on the full size one. Absolutely bonkers. Right, what was my other topic? Yeah, I was a little bit concerned about the impression which you may have got from the last couple of mail episodes which we've had around the IB crazy antennas. And I just wanted to put that into perspective, which is that if you look back through the YouTube channel, you'll see that I think there's 50 plus episodes of mail opening videos. And in short, I've basically received a lot of kit over the past couple of months. And to have 2 items received within 2 days, which were not up to the scratch, or basically not up to scratch, that just wasn't right. So yeah, when you see a sad mat in there, that's not the norm at all. If you look back through any of the other episodes, I'm quite a cheery bloke. But yeah, we've had 2 within the last like 3-4 days, which I've not been a happy camper. And unfortunately, it's been for a good reason I've not been a happy camper. But on the bright side, I am a cheery bloke, so we've got through that and we got some really cool stuff coming out. Oh, and by the way, the mail episodes are always like a week behind. So chances are I've already been and used and abused the kit, which has been and arrived, which you see in the mail opening episodes. Right, next topic. XM Receivers. Now, this is a follow-on from a couple of weeks back. No, actually about a week ago. We spotted a new XM receiver for the FrSky. Now, I thought it was a clone. I don't know if you know the story behind this. Basically, the FrSky protocol was reverse engineered. It got posted on GitHub, and then we started seeing some of, what was it, the RangeX receivers coming out on Banggood. And then we saw this one, and I thought it was a clone. And I think, was it Mike put it in the comments? It was, well, somebody mentioned in the comments that no, it was a legitimate FrSky product. And we were waiting for the XM Plus to come out, which is basically a full range receiver. If we just scroll down, it's a full range one up to 1 kilometer, which is crazy for something which is the size of, what, 22 millimeters by 12? It's tiny. It must be absolutely diddy. So yeah, full range in a absolute tiny little package. And yeah, we were waiting to see what these were. Well, when the Plus one was going to come in. I'm personally going to go and order one today because I'm curious to see how they do. The RangeX ones, which I've tried, I've not done any distance with them, but to be honest, they've been fine. But I do know others, such as Lee Schofield from Painless 360. He wasn't that impressed with the RangeX receivers. He kept having dropouts. Personally, I've not been and experienced that myself, but those little boards, absolutely tiny. If weight is a challenge, maybe in a micro quad, for example, or maybe you're just curious like me to see what they're like, then happy days. Happy days. Like I said, I'm going to get myself one. We'll see what it's like. I'm sure it'll be ace because the other FR receivers have all been perfect. Well, they've all worked really, really well. And it was only the, the VAR2 receiver which I had an issue with because basically the signal was getting swamped by the video transmitter because I had them too close. Right. Oh, yeah. I do also want to stress is that for those of you which are based in the United Kingdom, it may work out cheaper and an awful lot faster if you get the FrSky XM receivers from T9 Hobby Sport. They don't pay me to do that or anything like that. It's just I've had when I've had questions about the Tyrannus and receiver compatibility, especially around with the EU LBT software, these guys have been absolutely brilliant. That's why I'm mentioning them here. But do note they don't have them in stock yet on either of those receivers. So I'm sure they'll turn up on T9 Hobby Sport sooner or later. So what was the other topic? Oh, I fixed the Wingnetic. Right. There's a nice little story with this one. My builder was here with us yesterday. We were finishing off one of the roofs. And always make him a bacon sandwich, so we got the barbecue out by the back door. And those of you which are based in Australia, yes, we're hardcore here. Barbecue by the back door. It was like -6 yesterday, and we still got the barbecue going. Brilliant. Anyway, we were having a chit chat, and then I saw the John and Knight noticed the Wingnetic on the floor and said, "Oh, what's wrong with that one, Matt?" And then I gave him the story. And if you don't know the story behind the Wingnetic, you need to watch this video. I'll put a link to it in the video description for you in a little card in the top left, right hand corner, whichever side it is. It's the only model which I've not liked. But let me put this into... You basically go and watch the episode and you'll understand why I don't like it and why I've renamed it a POS. And anyway, we were stood there at the barbecue, just finished off, we left the barbecue on, keep ourselves warm, and then we were chatting about that one, and I had it in my hands, and I barbecued it, in short. As you can tell, it's crying on me at the moment, because it's been out there in the frost. And I put it on the barbecue and warmed up the wings, and then gave it a bit of dihedral. It flies absolutely brilliantly as a chuck glider. Unbelievable. Who knew you'd have to stick it on a barbecue to make it fly well? Absolutely crazy. So, yeah. But it's still going in the cement mixer, which I will get to at some point. It's just finding the time to squeeze these bits in. But and those of you which don't know, that Wingnetic will be going in a cement mixer, possibly with 2 4S lipos which have got dodgy cells in them, and then will be shot with an air rifle. And I might pour a bit of petrol in there and chuck in a couple of rockets. I don't know. It should be good fun. See what I mean? I'm normally a cheery guy. Put that note on there. Oh, C1 Chaser laminating update. Now, I need just to see if it's... My Dropboxes being those photos which I took have just been uploaded. Yes, it looks like they have. So, let me move that out of the way. Camera uploads. Chop chop, Pooter. Happy days. Right, I've been working on the mini Talon. We got some more laminate on that one, but there's so many like awkward pieces on it. It's taken a while to get to it, like to finish it. Now the C1 Chaser is, oh, there we go. I don't know if I mentioned this previously in another episode. Is I was back looking at a maiden and the other flights and remembering what I can remember from the actual flights with her, and the wings did feel a little bit too like flexible for my liking, especially because I basically chickened out on throwing her from underneath because I've got an 8x6 prop on it and I didn't fancy a prop strike. So what I was doing is side launching her, grabbing onto the wing like this and then side launching her out like that. And then what I did notice, these wings were a little bit too bendy for my liking. So what I've been and done is put some carbon fibre strip down the wings. And I think it's 5mm by 1mm, and I've put 2 strips down there, and it is absolutely rock solid now. I've basically taken it as far back to the left as I can, which is to the bottom skid, and then I've taken it off as far as I can into the fuselage as well. Use CA to put it in there, and it really has made those wings super stiff now. And of course, with the combination of putting the laminate on there as well, I've got another photo there, is a little tip for you. Well, like I said, I'll do a proper episode on this, but the way which I approach this is probably easier to see back on the previous image, is that what I've done is do all the awkward pieces first. And what I mean by that is that these winglets here, I did those parts first. Now you'll see that I've left those there because to finish that off, I need to have the model up the other way. I'm also starting off on the bottom because I'll then get into the routine of putting the laminate down. So on the top side, which is the part which everybody sees, but by the time I get to the top, all my apprentice marks, my apprentice skills should be a lot better, and I'll be able to do a really good job on the top. But coming back onto the topic, I've done all the awkward pieces first. So for this model specifically, is the bottom of the winglets, the skids on either side, and then the center area. Then I went on and did the wingtips. So that was one piece which I put, so one piece on there, one piece on there, then a bigger sheet here on the end, and then I did the center section. Need to get the ordering right. And then I did like the bulk of it to the middle, and then did the nose piece separately. And then for this main section here, I put one big sheet, put it on a slant, trimmed it up roughly right, and then laminated it down. And then when it came to the elevon, is that I actually laminated the elevon while I was at it, and then cut down and cut the extra bits out. See if I can zoom in a bit. Cut these bits out. And then when it comes to this awkward piece here, what I did was cut along this front line here, all the way along that line there, and then use the iron to tuck the flap down into the back of the elevon. Okay, and the reason for that is that I don't want to be using the laminate as the reinforcement joint for the elevons. Instead, I will go with the blend them tape, which there's a how-to video on how to blend them surfaces on my YouTube channel, and that's the approach which I'm taking. So the big one, the one for you to take away, is do all the awkward pieces first, and also do the bit which nobody ever sees first, which is the bottom. Okay, so that if once you get into the stride of it, you'll be a pro by the time you get round to doing the top bit, which is the part which everybody sees. And the combination of putting those carbon fibre strips in there and laminating it will make it into a nice rigid model. And we saw that she glided absolutely fantastically well in a maiden. But on the flip side, I am going to have some big battery packs in there, like this one for example. So the extra bit of strength and rigidity is definitely going to do us some favours. And let me have, I've got one more photo of the centre section. Yeah, so I did made sure we had an overlap in here. And by the way, never use Yoo-hoo pour on EPO foam, because it looks like the model's had little pea stains everywhere on it where it's been reacted to sunlight. But done the centre section here, and then you'll see that, hang on, my head will be in the way in the video, which is, can I rotate this? Sorry, it's going to be upside down now, but there's a nose there, but you'll see there's a line going across there. So I did up to about here on the bottom, and you always work from backwards from the model. That's another daft one. You work backwards from the model towards the front. And the reason why you do that is because of the seams. If you think about the lots of takeoffs and landings, is that if you've got that little square edge on the laminate, that's going to catch if it's pointing forward. So if they imagine that's the edge and you're landing, that's going to catch and you're going to end up with getting dirt in there. But if you've done it that way around, the dirt isn't going to get into that seam. So I always work backwards from the model and then work forwards just because of the seams. Not for aerodynamics. The tiny little ridge isn't going to make a blind bit of difference. It's just to stop dirt getting in there, especially on the bottom area. So I work from the back to the front. So that's my laminating adventures so far. And what's the last? Oh! Next topic, chuck glider conversion. Now, some of you may not have seen this conversion. My plan was to create the world's smallest long-range UAV. And I converted a chuck glider. I put some carbon spars in the wings, servos over the side. Worked out that I really did need an elevator because using the ailerons as ailerons really didn't work on a model like this at all. And I was going to use iNav on the top. Now, that has not worked out. My adventures with iNav have not been good. There is like a history of just search iNav on the channel and you find out. Anyway, coming on to the point is that we did try and FPV her, but who knew that you could reverse the image on one of these little FPV cameras? So I tried flying it and was trying to correct it, and then we soon worked out that the blooming image was reversed. I didn't even know you could do that with a FPV camera. Why would you have that in there? I don't get it. Anyway, that caused me a lot of problems. But anyway, she's fixed and I will be trying to do her FPV maiden today, which is going to be fantastic fun because this thing is absolutely crazy in the air. I mean, unbelievably crazy. And oh, by the way, these little models are about £5 to £7. I bought mine when they were £5. I have seen they've been and gone up since. Now, give you a heads up for a later project. I think I mentioned this a couple of coffee mornings ago. Is that I do actually have 2 more here. And one of them I'm going to set up as a slope soaring model. And the other one I'm going to set up as a powered model. Because frankly speaking, I don't know how long this one's going to last. Okay, especially after a few unscheduled landings with her. So I can get those bits back in there. And the last topic for today is a flying day. Yay! Yeah, really looking forward to it actually. When did we go flying last? Oh yeah, I had 3 days of flying last weekend and we went flying on Friday, Saturday and Sunday. And yeah, Dave might be a bit hungover, but don't worry, I will shout at him on the flight line. Yeah, today is a flying day. It's gonna be cold. There's no two ways about it. But I've been out there this morning, and compared to yesterday, which was later on in the morning, it still said -6 in the car. It's no way as cold as yesterday, but there's still ice on the ground, etc., etc. So it is going to be a chilly day. But we've got what we got. I will be definitely taking the Hornet FPV flying wing. Love that little wing. Absolutely bonkers. C1 Chaser isn't ready yet. We've been chipping away at her, so that's frustrating for me. I don't know about you, but it's very frustrating for me. I just want to do a good job on her. So yeah, that's kind of frustrating. Oh, the Micro Sky Hunter, that will get maiden today. That'll be good fun, and I'll chuck a couple of extra wings in there. And I know Dave's got his Talon, so I'll probably take my Phantom FX61 with me as well and get some nice airtime as well. It's going to be some fantastic scenery out there today with the fields being frozen, and oh, it's going to be a nice day. So with that said, are you out flying today? If you are, let me know what you're going to be flying in the comments section. And if you're not going to be flying today, then don't panic. I will be ragging the nuts off lots of models today just for you. So with that said, for myself, Matt, thank you for joining me for today's RC Coffee Chat. The time is now 06:36, which is kind of late for me. I've been up since hour 3, so yeah, been busy laminating that model and catching up on stuff as well. So anyway, have a fantastic day's flying if you're out flying today. If not, it's the weekend tomorrow. Happy days. And on that note, From myself, Matt, cheerios!